Well, viewers, here we are again. It seems that the most common car I've ever filmed on the channel is a Maestro, and this is a particularly special Maestro. Now, this one's not currently on the road. You'll see immediately why that it isn't, just by looking at the windscreen and noticing we've got a lack of wiper. We've also got lacks of some other things on here, like the ignition barrel's all sort of funny, and there's a hole in one of the sills. So this car's not on the road at the moment. It doesn't need an MOT technically, but it's not currently in a state to be driven, I wouldn't have thought. So there we go. This car's actually built in December 1982. It's exactly the same age that I am. So there we go. We're both turning 42 this month. 1.3L specification. It actually was a press demonstrator, because the launch of the Maestro wasn't until March 1983. So an 82 built car is something of a rarity. As you can see, yeah, these rear arches need sorting out, that needs sorting out. It's not too bad actually. This car, for some reason the ignition's still on. That's why reversing light's actually on. The ignition's had to leave that on because it's been a bit funny. This car actually is worth a fair bit of money because of the history of it. It's on 81,000 miles. The engine needs a bit of work. It just seems to be not very cooperative today, and it needs sort of finishing off. But it's not too bad actually. It's a Porto Red, this car, which is a common colour back in the early 80s for Austin Rover cars. You can see there someone's had a go at doing that one on there. One really weird thing about this car, we don't quite know why this is. This is an L model, and it should have a passenger mirror, but it doesn't. It's just got a blanking cap on it, which is, you know, more common on the 1.3s, and we're going to go in a base 1.3 actually a little bit. So yeah, I've filmed a lot of Maestros on my channel, a couple of Van Plas. One of them was a Porto Red like this, and then an Advantage, an HLS, a Mayfair, an MG version as well, and we've also filmed a roader car, just loads and loads of them. So I've driven tons. These cars with 1.6 are very heavy without power steering, and very few Maestros actually have it. They only really the 2 litres where it was standard, and then on some of the 1.6, particularly the Van Plas models, you could get it as an option. So this didn't have power steering. Neither did the 1.3 Mayfair, but Patrick Orange's car also has. That doesn't have it either, but it's not too bad on it. This car is not running particularly well, and you'll see we've got a bit of Heath Robinson stuff going on here in terms of how to start it, which is interesting. So there we go. I'll have a look under the bonnet actually and see what the very early cars like this look like. Actually, no, I'll have a look at the dash first. This is the basic dash. There were 3 different dashes in this. There was the one with the rev counter. There's a normal one like this, which lasted until I think February '86. They changed to the normal dash. It was very similar to one in the Montego. But the early Maestros like this have their own dash, and it's not quite as bad as people say. They don't tend to crack as badly as the later one for some reason, although they do sometimes make a noise because they're a multi-piece dash. So yeah, the ignition, the light switch would be sort of, if the cowling was on, the light switch would be somewhere over here. Obviously in this car it's off. 4-speed manual gearbox out of a Volkswagen Golf. No, that's not a mistake, it is out of a Golf. Some others got 5-speed, particularly the HLE model that had I think a lower 5th gear on it. Original radio, Austin Rover branded, with no FM in this car. Ashtray, which I remember from my grandfather's Maestros. He had about 5 of them. Didn't have as many as Patrick currently has, but he had quite a few of them. And then 81,000 miles. Rear wiper's actually on here. You can see why they did decide to change this dash. It looks rather old-fashioned, really. It's more similar in some ways to the dash on the early Metros. Then some of these bits have got common to Metros as well, aren't they? Things like this sort of window wind interior door handles look similar. Loads of blanking plates. These would be something down there. Electric windows, I think, were on the door somewhere for the early cars. I've driven an '85 Maestro Van Auto, and that was like that too. That was quite nice actually. That's a nice car. Glove box is over here, and so it's cigarette lighter. It's quite big actually, that. But yeah, Austin Rover Fleet Demonstrator, just a delight to sort of see. One like this, although it needs a bit of work, that's actually survived, and it will be put back on the road once this work is done. Although the biggest problem has been getting it running. The auto choke is broken, so you have to absolutely floor it to make it to even move anywhere. Right, let's have a look in the boot, shall we? Okay. Yeah, the struts are gone. Let's just hold this up. Very common on Maestros. Plastic parcel shelf. Wow, all sort of vinyl and colour coded to the bits on either side. That's interesting. Yeah, reversing light is still on. They're quite big, these cars, actually, in terms of space. Like the Mark III Escort, which came out in 1980, these came out in March 83. They are not as big inside of this at all. One of the reasons why you might buy a Maestro these days is for the interior space, which we'll have a look at when we drive the white car a little bit. But yeah, it's very, very, very early 80s interior colour scheme, isn't it? It's amazing. Right, let's have a look under the bonnet. So here is the A Plus engine, developing 68 horsepower. In this case with electronic control, which means it has an auto choke, which I personally, if this were my car, I would get rid of that auto choke, because all it's been doing today is causing problems. As you can see, the engine looks totally lost in this bay. You could get up to 2-litre engines in Maestros, and this just looks tiny. Gearbox is evidently there. Look at how much of the groin you can actually see underneath the car. So yeah, there's a brake servo, no power steering, no air conditioning, nothing like that, and just lots of space to make it easier maintenance, which I'm sure was very good on these. Yeah, they didn't have a suitable gearbox for this, so they bought the trouble of the Volkswagen. Apart from the 2-litre engines, which are a Honda gearbox, and they are quite nice, the PG ones. But yeah, there we go. This is an example of this early press fleet Maestro. So we're going to get the other one now. And we'll leave this somewhere safe. Thank you very much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment below, and we shall see you again for some more Maestro action.